welcome back to the channel. Credit is king. I am here today to drop another jewel, another jewel and another nugget for you guys. Okay, excuse me about that one. So today's video is going to be talking about trade lines. So we're going to talk about in the industry, what do they refer to, how the fundamentals of a trade line, how it's used, and how you can leverage it to basically make some power moves and get a quick boost in anybody's credit score. So for those of you that may be in the market for like a new car, but you're like short a couple points, or you're trying to buy that house and you need like an additional 20-30 points or whatever the case is, and you're just not there yet, by adding a trade line you can definitely get that quick boost within 30 to 45 days to get you in the approval range. So we'll talk a little bit about that, what that looks like. But if you're new to the channel, please hit the like, subscribe, comment, share. If you have any questions regarding credit or credit repair, how to repair your credit, drop it in the comments below. I'll make sure to address those, or send me a DM at my IG, Danny_Rodriguez_617. I'll make sure to get back to you in a timely fashion. Now, diving right into the video. So trade lines. Trade lines is basically an industry term that we utilize in the credit repair realm. And it basically is just also known as AKA an authorized user. So for any of us that have a credit card, we know that we can add an authorized user. Those of us that don't have a credit card, we'll break it down real quick. So if you have a credit card, you have the ability to add an authorized user to that card. And there's two ways to go about it. You can add the authorized user, probably somebody you trust, family member, son, daughter, aunt, uncle, whatever, and you can give them the card and they can use the card, and you guys share the same limit because it is your card and you guys are going to be using it. Or you can add them as an authorized user and keep the card and never give it to that person if you don't trust them. Now, the benefit in that is, for the recipient, is that person is going to, once you add them as an authorized user to your account, the credit reports are going to report your entire payment history to that recipient's credit report. So that's powerful for them because they're going to get a boost in their score. So there's multiple ways that they can get a boost, i.e., age. So age is always going to trump limit. Okay, that's one thing that you got to remember when it comes to a trade line. You can have a 10-year trade line, 10-year credit card account with a $1,000 limit. That's going to be more powerful than a $50,000 credit limit, and you only had it for like a year, right? Trade lines only affect your credit score if they're seasoned more than 2 years. That's another important thing to know. Anything under 2 years, you're really probably not going to see a significant boost. You'll get a boost, but it's more effective. You'll reap a more bigger boost the longer the trade line is aged. So very important to keep in mind. So the recipient is going to get that entire payment history. Let's say you had it for 10 years. Now your whole 10-year payment history is going to be reported to the recipient's credit report, i.e. they get a boost in score. Now that's one way that they're going to get the boost, is because of the age. Because the pie chart, 15% of your credit score is made up of the age that's on your credit. So another big part of your credit score is utilization. So 30% of your score is your credit utilization. So let's say, for example, you have a $5,000 credit card with a $2,500 balance on there. You're already at a 50% utilization. Okay, so let's say you add a trade line for $10,000, right, onto your account. So now you have a total revolving credit of 15 grand. Okay, the 10 that you just added as a trade line, plus the 5 that you already have, but you have a $2,500 balance on that, you have a 50% utilization, right? Once you add the trade line and your overall limit goes to 15 grand, your utilization will go down. I believe it's about 17%, if my math is right, on if you have a $15,000 overall limit and a $2,500 balance, I think that's 17%. So now you just went from a 50% utilization, which is way over the 30% that, quote unquote, is where you want to be at. Real quick, you should be anywhere within 5 to 7. I would never bring it up to 30. If you bring it up to 30%, even if you're 30 or under, you're going to take a significant decrease in your credit score. Keep utilization between 5 to 7%. If, at all possible, pay your credit cards off in full every single month. No questions asked. That's how you're going to save money because you're not going to have to pay the interest. But getting back to the trade line, right? So now you have 15,000 of overall credit utilization. 15,000 of revolving credit. Because you added the 10,000, now your new limit is 15 grand. So now your utilization dumps down to 17%. So now that you went from a 50% utilization to a 17%, now your score goes up. You know what I'm saying? You see how that works? So there's multiple ways on how to reap the benefits of a trade line, and when to add it, right? So you never want to add a trade line if you have multiple derogatory accounts. So let's say, for example, you have 10 negatives, 10 derogatory accounts, and you add a trade line hoping to get that boost. It's not going to work for you. So just knowing when to add a trade line and, the right times to get that boost that you need to get approved for that car, that house, whatever, the student loan, whatever it is that you're trying to apply credit for, and you don't have that score that they're looking for, the fastest way to get that boost is to, to add a seasoned trade line, you know what I'm saying? And then it gets you over that hump to get you that approval. So like I already mentioned, age trumps limit when it comes to trade lines. Very, very important. Keep that in mind. Like I just talked about too, it helps with helps with your utilization. So 30% of your score, again, is made up of your credit utilization. And that's on the entire revolving amount that you have. So again, if you only have one credit card for 5,000, that 30% just applies to that 5,000. If you have multiple credit cards that add up to 10 to 15 grand, again, it's 30% of the total amount of revolving credit, right? So they calculate the percentages on how much you're actually using in comparison to your overall credit limit. Again, so if you have 15,000 overall, you don't want to make sure that you're not using more than 30% of that. So you just do the math, you know what I'm saying? But I prefer, in my opinion, preferably, I tell my clients, stay between 5 to 7%. Your credit score will take a minimum impact. It'll take some bit of an impact because you're not paying it off in full, but I would only do that in extreme circumstances. If you can pay it off completely, never carry over balance. Also doing there is the fastest way to get a credit boost in a short period of time. So again, if you're looking to get, into a home, a car, whatever within the next 30, 60 days, and, your credit doesn't go up every month, depending on what you have on there. So if you're in like the credit repair process, or if you need something like instant, fast to get you with whatever you need, and then once you get whatever you need, then you're going to continue to work on repairing your credit. The fastest way is adding a trade line. It's the quickest way you're going to get a boost, and that's the only way that you'll get a boost, unless you dispute something and it comes off. But legally, the bureaus have 30 days to respond to any disputes that you submit, either online or in paper or certified mail, So, you know what I'm saying? Like if you need something and if you dispute and it comes back verified, then now you're looking at another 30 days, with sending out the second round of dispute. So if you're looking for something that is pretty much guaranteed, the points is going to vary. Unfortunately, nobody can put a number of 50, 60, 70, 80 points, whatever. The ones that we use in our company, we've seen the highest that we've seen is an increase of 177 points. Now that's powerful, right? So we had, this client, she got 177 point increase, changed her life. She was able to go out and, and do what she had to do. And it was staggering because we've never seen that significant boost, but it did happen. So we've seen the highest of 177 and the lowest of like 50, 60 points. So it all depends on what you actually have on your credit report. Can't give you a solid number. Everybody's different, but you will get a boost depending on, if you're using it the right way. Obviously, you consult with your trade, whoever you get in the trade line with, you let them take a look at your credit report and they'll determine whether or not it'd be best to add a trade line, or they can make a logical assumption as to, whether or not it's going to have an impact based on just looking at your credit report. So that's what I would suggest you do first before committing, because the last point here is trade lines are not cheap. Okay, so when people go out and shop for trade lines, they have a bunch of companies that sell trade lines. They're not cheap whatsoever, especially the age trade lines. So the older the line is, right, the older the credit card, the more money they're gonna charge, and they can charge $1,200 and up, right, north of $1,200 for a trade line. Now, some people are like, damn, $1,200, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But when it comes to credit, credit is the new currency. Credit is the new dollar, right? If you're gonna go out and get approved for that dream home that you want or that dream car that you want, guess what? $1,200 is an investment to get you there, right? And that's another way of saying that bad credit is expensive, right? So having bad credit is going to cost you more in interest rates and the amounts that you pay out, and the type of loans that you get, and it can get you denied a lot, right? So again, credit is the new dollar, it's a new currency. Make sure your credit's A1. If you have any, if you have any negatives on your credit report, everything can be disputed. Don't get discouraged. Most people think that once you get a bankruptcy or repossession or whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm done for 10 years. Like, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have credit repair companies like mine and others that help individuals, get these things off their credit, and they don't have to wait that statute of limitation time before it comes off, or you have to dispute it off, because in most cases, even though it's past the statute of limitations, if you yourself don't dispute it because it's inaccurate, and it's not supposed to be reporting, then they won't take it off. So that's another thing to keep in mind. It doesn't just automatically fall off after the statute of limitation date. So it would behoove everyone to, keep their credit in good standing. I created this channel to provide, some education in terms of how credit works, how to build it, how to repair it, how to keep it going, and how to leverage it to buy income producing assets. So credit is the conversation. It's not at most of our dinner tables. It's not talked about in schools. It's not part of the curriculum, and it's like that by design. So once again, I want to bring you this information based on my personal experience. I've had a lot of success with my company when we add trade lines, when we fix people's credit. For me, the gratification is, helping somebody else and giving them the knowledge and the tools, and then allowing them to go and teach their family, their mother, their father, their brother, their kid, their whatever. You know what I mean? Spreading the knowledge so that way we can break this chain and not succumb to, having bad credit because of a lack of information or lack of education. You know what I'm saying? Where, if you're ignorant to something, then get the information, get the education that you need to fix that problem. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, credit's not going anywhere. As we go into the future, if you don't have good credit, think about it now. You can't get a car, can't get a home, can't get a student loan, can't get an apartment, right? A lot of landlords are not running credit reports to make sure you can be able to pay your bills on time. So credit ain't going nowhere. So I'm just trying to create some awareness surrounding this topic, and I'll be talking and I'll be dropping jewels about everything when it comes to credit. So that way we have an understanding of, how it works. And, I'm relatively new to the YouTube platform, but I've uploaded a couple videos in terms of credit, so you can check those out if you have any other questions. But if you don't see a video that's already made, it's probably already in the making, but drop your comments below. Once again, if you're the first time stopping by the channel, please hit like, subscribe, share, comment, share this with somebody that may need this information. And, I'll be dropping jewels as often as I can to, empower everyone, to give them the education, to give them the knowledge that you can make better financial decisions in the future. Leverage your credit to create financial freedom. There's plenty of money out here to get. Let's get it. Until next time, it's your boy. Catch you in my next video. Peace.